In this video, we consider how to create new functions out of existing functions. Let's imagine we have two functions, f and g, each of which accepts real-valued inputs and spits out real-valued outputs. So we're thinking of our familiar standard functions from an x to a y, from a single variable to another variable. So given two functions, how could we combine them in order to make a new function? Well, in order to conceptualize this, let's draw pictures of our functions. I'm going to draw Collingwood's slightly simpler version of this machine picture rather than Tanton's somewhat complicated one here. We have f, we feed some number to f, and we will get some number that's spit out. And similarly g, we could feed some number to g, and some number would get spit out. So I want to define a function that's still from R to R using f and g. So if I take some particular input, say 2, how could I generate some output? I have a variety of natural things I could do here. One way that I could define a new function would be to take the sum of f and g. In particular, if I feed the sum f plus g some input x, this new machine will simply compute f of x, compute g of x, and then add them together. Alternatively, I could define f times g similarly. Here, I've written the product fg. If I feed this new function some input x, this new function will compute f of x, compute g of x, and then multiply them together. But I could define a new function slightly differently. In particular, I could define what's called a composition of functions. It's maybe simplest to represent as a picture. Here, I've sort of daisy-chained my functions together. I take some input x, I feed it into f, I take that output and I feed it into g. And finally, I get some final output. How would I write this function? Well, let's kind of follow along what happens to x as we run through this. We have x initially, then after we apply f, this turns into f of x, and finally we apply g, and this turns into g of f of x. So this is our basic idea of composition, is feeding the output of one function into the input of another function. For the most part, dealing with compositions are relatively straightforward. The most delicate thing to be concerned about here is the domain and range of compositions, which we'll consider in the next video.